Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn more about relative clause. First, let's revise what a relative clause is. A relative clause is used to describe a noun and is put after that noun. A relative pronoun like who, whom, which, whose, or that is used to join a main clause and a relative clause. This pronoun stands for the noun that you are describing. Look at the following examples. Example 1. The boy who won the prize was my friend. The relative clause is who won the prize. The relative pronoun who is used because it refers to the boy. It also helps to link up the main clause, the boy was my friend, and the relative clause, he won the prize. In this case, you can also use that as the relative pronoun. Example 2. The boy whom you talked to won the prize. In this example, the relative clause is whom you talked to. The relative pronoun whom is used because the noun, that is the boy, is the object of the main clause. You talked to him. In this case, we have to use whom, but not who or that. Example 3. The boy whose mother was my teacher won the prize. In this example, the relative clause is whose mother was my teacher. The relative pronoun whose is used to replace the possessive pronoun of the main clause. His mother was my teacher. Therefore, pay attention to all possessive pronouns. Example 4. The car which was stolen last night was expensive. The relative pronoun which is used if the noun is not a person. Here, I'd like to add one important point. The relative clause, which was stolen last night, is necessary to complete the meaning. Otherwise, we don't know which car was expensive. For this kind of relative clause, we call it as a defining relative clause. Another kind of relative clause is called a non-defining relative clause. It gives additional information. It's extra. You do not need it because the meaning of the sentence is complete. Look at this example. Penny, who wore a red dress, talked to me. The relative clause, who wore a red dress, is additional. It is extra because you know who talked to you. This is Penny. You even know her name. So we call this clause as non-defining relative clause. There are two more points you have to pay attention to. The first one, you have to put a comma or two commas to separate the relative clause from the main clause. Second, you cannot use that in non-defining clause. You can only use who, whom, or which. Let's do question number 2 in your notebook. Sam left Hong Kong for a business trip. This is a sentence with complete meaning. Even you know who left Hong Kong, you know the name of the person. So the sentence, he broke his neck last week, is an extra information. We can write the sentence with a non-defining relative clause. Sam, comma, who broke his neck last week, comma, left Hong Kong for a business trip. It's also possible to say, Sam, who left Hong Kong for a business trip, broke his neck last week. Well, I hope you have more ideas to write relative clauses. Please finish the exercises in your notebook and Grammar Explained.